Good day everyone and welcome to our group presentations. My name is Muhammad Saifullah bin Sarudin and today I am honored to lead our group discussion on one of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's classic Sherlock Holmes mysteries, which is The Adventure of the Bruce Partington Plans. Together with my group members Wilson, Rabiatul, Sahira and Pang, we analyze the core themes, characters, structure and clues of this incredible story. Let's dive right into what makes this mystery so timeless. To begin, let's look at the main moral message of this story. In my view, this story is fundamentally about how justice, truth and loyalty to one's country are critical, even when a crime is hidden and incredibly complex. I firmly believe that greed and betrayal will always be punished in the end, a sentiment that aligns with my own real-life views that honesty eventually reveals all things. Looking at my group's perspective, that we found a strong consensus. Wilson note how small dishonest act lead to massive disaster, while Rabiatul and Pang emphasize that serving your country is a high calling. Sahira beautifully summarized it as a direct contrast between the honor of Cajun West and greed of colonial wealth. Now, moving on to the topic and the setting. The plot centers around a high-stake theft. As I pointed out during our discussions, the mystery hinges on a specific detail, where 10 secret submarine planes were stolen, 7 were found on the victim's body, but the 3 most important ones went missing. This takes place in the thick, yellow London fog in November 1895, which creates a brilliantly mysterious atmosphere. However, my group members expand on this investigate dynamic, where Wilson highlights that the clues are unraveled step by step. Rabiatul identified it as a classic lock room mystery involving restricted keys, and Sahira noted how smoothly the plot transitions from a dark mystery to a careful laid track. When it comes to characters, my absolute favorite is Sherlock Holmes. I admire him because he solves crimes entirely through logic and accurate observations. A perfect example is his brilliant deduction that the victim Cajun West did not fall from inside the train, but rather fell from the roof where his body had been placed. Okay, the rest of the group share a deep appreciation for the case but split their favorites. Wilson and Rabiatul highlight Mycroft Holmes, admiring how he stepped out of his rigid comfort zone when a national crisis hits. Meanwhile, Sahira and Pang focus heavily on Cajun West, admiring him as a true patriot who chose death over breaking his loyalty to his country. Okay, how does the author prove his main message? In my analysis, the proof is hidden within the small clues. Holmes uses tiny markers like soot on the window sill, broken branches and the key telegram to solve massive mysteries, showing us that someone has been climbing in and out. My group took a closer look at the narrative proof. Wilson and Pang argue that the proof is driven by human emotions, contrasting colonial wealth's desperate depth with wealth's ultimate sacrifice. Rabiatul also pointed out the fascinating piece of historical evidence, the uses of newspaper agony columns to trace the coded transactions of the criminals. The structure of this novel is beautifully organized. From my reading, it follows a perfectly clear beginning, middle and end. We start with the London fog and the discovery of the mysterious death. The middle is filled with intense clue gathering, and the end concludes satisfyingly with the arrest of the spy, Oberstein. The group agreed that this seamless organization keeps the reader hooked. Wilson and Rabiatul, they mentions that the chapters are incredibly easy to follow, while Sahira and Pang love how the suspense builds up progressively, revealing clues one by one until the trap closes. Finally, let us look at the mastermind behind this story, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, published in the December 1908. As I note in our research, Doyle was a medical doctor from Edinburgh, Scotland, before he became a writer. This medical training is exactly why his description of injury and corpses are so clinical and accurate. My group added some excellent depth here. Wilson noted Doyle's deep understanding of London's geography and government secretary, while Rabiatul, Sahira and Pang celebrated his legacy as the creator of legendary work like A Study in Scarlet and The Hound of the Baskervilles. In conclusion, whether we focus on the raw logic of the case or the deep themes of national honor, our group discussion proved one thing, which justice may take time, but the truth will always come to light. Thank you very much for your time. Bye.